It's an easy news day again as we move into the post-Backlash period of WWE as Backlash took place last night, 2 nights ago, on Peacock as WWE had its first PLE from San Juan, Puerto Rico since New Year's Revolution 2005. And it was a spectacular event, if I do say so, as WWE pulled out all the stops in Puerto Rico. But tonight on Raw, we get to see the beginning of. We get to see the beginning of the World Heavyweight Championship title tournament with 6 members of Raw, and then on SmackDown, 6 members of SmackDown compete where the winners will participate in a SmackDown vs. Raw match at Clash of Champions or Night of Champions at the end of the month in Saudi Arabia. The one question I think a lot of people have is why do the brand split now, the draft now? Why not set the draft up to where it becomes official after Night of Champions if the plan was to go the route of having the World Heavyweight Championship title tournament happen after Backlash, and if the World Heavyweight title was something that was planned, a plan that was in place before Backlash. You know what I mean? Why do it like that instead of doing it the other way? Why not have it the other way and basically go the route of waiting to make the brand exclusivity a thing as opposed to doing it before you were clearly ready to do it? Because if you're going to say brand exclusivity is a thing and then do a multi-man tournament where it's SmackDown versus Raw, that doesn't make any sense, because basically what you're saying is it isn't brand exclusive yet. Because then it shouldn't be SmackDown versus Raw. I don't care the opportunity. I don't care what you gain from it. The fact of the matter is if you say it is brand exclusive, then SmackDown versus Raw is not something that should be able to happen, because if it's a Raw World title, then only people on Raw should be able to compete for said world title. It shouldn't be where people on SmackDown can compete for something that's supposed to be exclusive to Raw. If you want to do that, then guess what? You shouldn't have made the draft results, something that was put in place until after the World Heavyweight Championship was crowned, or the World Heavyweight Champion was crowned. But you didn't do that. So guess what? You made a mistake. Live with it. And I guess we'll have to live with the fact that the draft is not going to be 100% exclusive until more than likely after Night of Champions. And that's just something we have to deal with. But tonight on Raw, either way, it is there will be two triple threat matches. There will be 2 triple threat matches, one of which includes Baylor, Nakamura, and The Miz. And the other will include Rollins, Damian Priest, and Cody Rhodes. The winners of those triple threat matches will get into the spot to become number one will then meet in singles matches. The respective winners will meet in singles matches, either on that night, on the same night, or I'm assuming next week, if not tonight. But it is entirely possible that every match of the tournament will take place tonight, with the finals taking place or being built up to for Night of Champions. Basically, there's two triple threat matches taking place tonight and 2 triple threat matches taking place on SmackDown. And then the winners of those triple threat matches will compete in singles matches against each other. And then the winners of those singles matches, one from Raw, one from SmackDown, will then go to Night of Champions, and it will be SmackDown versus Raw for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. I don't know everybody on the SmackDown side. I do know offhand Edge, Bobby Lashley, AJ Styles, Rey Mysterio, um, Edge, Bobby Lashley, Rey Mysterio, AJ Styles, Austin Theory, and Sheamus. So I do know everybody. I do know everybody on the other side. Yeah. The fact of the matter is, we don't know who will, like, I don't know who will win on the SmackDown side. I'm gonna wager a guess and say Rollins will win on the Raw side, and Rollins will be the top contender from the Raw side, going to Night of Champions for the world title. Off the top of my head, I couldn't tell you who's going to be on the SmackDown side. I would love to see AJ Styles get the opportunity. But one thing that I'm sure a lot of people are questioning is where's Drew McIntyre? Drew McIntyre was recently drafted over to Monday Night Raw, and I think a lot of people would probably say McIntyre should have been in that spot instead of. Maybe some people would say McIntyre should have been in that spot instead of Damian Priest, but I know a lot of people would probably say McIntyre should have been in that spot instead of The Miz. A lot of people would probably say that McIntyre should have been in that spot instead of The Miz. But McIntyre is not. According to Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer, he never said that McIntyre is likely leaving, which I don't really think he said McIntyre is likely leaving. I just think what he said was McIntyre could be going away. McIntyre could be leaving WWE if the current plan or the current idea continues down that road, which the current idea going down that road or current thought process is that McIntyre's future is in doubt with WWE because McIntyre is apparently banged up and frustrated. He was banged up going into WrestleMania, and he's frustrated with creative, as a lot of people from the main roster were informed ahead of time that they were of what brand they were switching to, and McIntyre was not one of those people that was informed ahead of time. McIntyre was injured ahead of WrestleMania, but made it through the finish line to help be a part of that match at WrestleMania. I mean, I think McIntyre deserves a lot more than he's been getting, and it's a little difficult that WWE painted themselves into a corner because of what they did with Roman Reigns last year and making him the undisputed champion and sacrificing one of their world titles because it sacrificed the main event scene. You know, nobody did more, in my opinion, nobody did more than Drew McIntyre to carry WWE through the pandemic than Drew McIntyre did. And the fact that they have not given him anything as far as anything close to what he got during the pandemic, it's a little ludicrous to me that that's what happened. But either way, McIntyre could be done before WrestleMania next year, as the current word, according to Fightful Select, is that McIntyre's contract is set to expire in early 2024. It is possible that if McIntyre's contract is set to expire in early 2024, that he stays on until after WrestleMania, after WrestleMania 40, and then he just leaves after WrestleMania 40. But it is also possible that he leaves in January 2024 and does not remain around for WrestleMania season. Either way, I do hope WWE figures it out because McIntyre is an asset to the company, especially if they are looking to expand and do more shows internationally. Having someone like Drew McIntyre on their side would be an extensive benefit for the company. And before we go, I just want to mention that Camilla, the current reigning NWA World Women's Champion, is just past 700 days as NWA World Champion, and I mean, that's an accomplishment in itself. You know, that is an accomplishment in itself for Camilla, who is one of the more recognizable women's wrestlers in the NWA. With that being said, though, also, the NWA's next pay-per-view event is the Crockett Cup, starting on June 3rd in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. where the best tag teams in wrestling compete for the honor of the Crockett Cup. With that being said, though, that is it for this news video. We got another news video to come, and I will see you in that video.